Welcome everyone. My name is Wiktor Żołnowski. I'm CEO and co-founder of Pragmatic Coders, where we are supporting, rescuing, and taking over software projects whenever someone else fails to deliver them. And today I'm going to share with you, as Magda mentioned, 10 costly mistakes founders make before scaling their business, and then they pay for it later. And this presentation is solely based on my experience as a founder of Pragmatic Coders, but also as a founder of startups, but also as an angel investor who invested in a couple of startups. And it's also based on the stories of some of our clients to whom we help solve some of the problems that they had with their scaling, or the problems that they noticed when they started scaling. It's usually the moment where our clients at Pragmatic Coders reach to us, because when they are scaling, they see that the way they built the business at first could be done a little bit differently. So they won't have the problem that they can do us with. So let's start. The mistake number one, or the problem number one, before you start scaling, you should learn how to build a strategy. Who of you can tell me what the business strategy is? Any ideas?
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is the way how we deliver the idea of the final way.
This is the way to deliver the idea the final way. Sort of. Yeah. Just shout.
It's probably the journey. You plan entire journey of your startup.
Not necessary. Yeah.
What to not to do.
That's a very good answer. One of the very good answers. Anything else? What to not to do.
What to be right?
What to do. Okay, so in a short, strategy is a choice or choices that you are making. The choice is what to do, what not to do. The choice is where to play and how to win. This is the strategy. And everything else is just a derivative from this strategy that you will set up. And actually it sounds pretty simple, but believe me, it's not. And this is the mistake that many startups make at the very beginning. That not only startups, but also, B2B companies, like service companies, product companies, whatever. Like, I've seen hundreds of companies, I've been working with hundreds of companies that never ever designed their strategy. And they try to do everything, focus on everything for everyone, deliver software or deliver services to everyone. And at the end of the day, they struggle because they were not making choices. They were just trying to deliver everything to everyone. So first thing that I would like you to remember is let's learn about the strategy. It's not obvious. Read about it, design your strategy, where to play, how to win, what decision to make, what to do, what not to do. That should be your strategy. Second, if we are talking about decisions, another problem that I've seen many times among our clients, but also I've went through this as well with my companions, is that many decisions that we are making, they are not documented at all. They are just guesses, or they are just good feeling. And we as founders, we usually have a really good vibe, or we know how to make decision. We don't know how we know why we made those decisions or another, but we are sure that those decisions will be good, and most of the times they are good. And this is really good approach when we are starting our business, when the business is small, when we are fully responsible for every decision of the company. But whenever we want to scale, whenever we want to grow our business, when people join us, when we are building an organization, then it stops working. And the decision-making process, if it's not documented, it's tribal, and people just making decision without documenting it, it usually fail with scale. So whenever you are growing your company, you need to figure out what should be the framework of decision-making. Later on, if you would like to know, I can share with you some examples how we are documenting our decisions right now in Google Spreadsheet, of course, and how we are using it usually not only for feeding the AI models for that, but also for doing some retrospectives on where we get from the decisions that we made, for example, half a year ago or something like this. And this is really good, especially when we are making a lot of decisions, because we have like 5 people or 6 people in management team, and we don't have time to communicate to each other every time when we make any simple decision. So when we are scaling, figure out how to make decision in non-trivial way, but rather document it. Number 3, especially when building startups, people are saying that, this is startup vibe. We are growing the business, we are hacking it overnight, and we don't need any processes. That's okay until you starting your business. Scaling a business is about repeatable processes. So whenever you start the business, think about what processes do you have, write them down, describe them, write down what does it mean that this process works, or what does it mean that this process doesn't work, and monitor it as well. Yeah, like every month or something like this, check if your processes are implemented and if they are working. 4, never ever ignore warning signs only because the revenue is growing. Revenue is really nice indicator. It's a really nice metric, but it's a lagging metric. It's a lagging indicator. You will notice that something is wrong when the revenue goes down, but usually you will notice it way too late. Usually you will notice it a long time after the true reasons appeared. And I've seen it many times that companies or founders or managers were ignoring things such as customer retention, things such as employee satisfaction, NPS from customers, and other signals that could tell you that something is going wrong. And people were ignoring it because, money is flowing, revenue is growing, everything should be okay. But revenue is not the best metric for scaling a business. 5. This is something that I went through with one of my co-founder when I started Pragmatic Coders, because there was 3 of us. Now there is 3 of us again, but those are 3 different people than before. At the beginning, when we started over 12 years ago, we had this idea that we want to build a software company and we want to grow it. But it occurred that 3 of us thought about it differently. Like each of us have a different idea. What does it mean that we want to grow a company and make a business? For example, one of our co-founders, he wanted to build a small, like for him it was already big, but small 20, 25 people company. For me and another partner, we were aiming high. We were aiming for over 100, maybe 200. We were aiming for building a lot of spin-offs from this software company, which we are currently doing. But for the third co-founder, that was something different. That was, for him, he always aimed to build a small company. And actually, it cost us a lot of money. Not only money, it cost a lot of time, because we wasted almost 2 years to push back and forth with between each other, like what we are going to build, what we are not going to build, everyone trying to pull into their direction. But at the end of the day, we had to split the company in half. We needed to sort it out, and we lost a co-founder, but we earned the way to scale up our business in a way that we imagined to do this. And he actually earned the way to scale his part of the business in the way that he was aiming for. So something like a founder's agreement when you are starting a business is a really good idea. I totally recommend you to start with a founder's agreement. 6. If you are talking about splitting company, letting your co-founder go, usually, like how many of you are building startups here? And there is a couple of people, okay. So you probably heard that a perfect triangle or perfect founders to build a startup is a hacker, hustler, and hipster, yeah? Yeah, so that's true. Yeah, like usually this trio is a perfect match for building a startup. Like if you have someone who is a hacker, so he can code something. You have someone who is a hipster who can sell it. You have a hustler who will, do all the other stuff that is necessary. But those 3 people are very good at the very beginning, but not so often they are also good when you are starting a business. I've seen so many cases where, for example, CTO, who used to be this hacker at the very, very beginning, this first developer who joined the company, who gets some shares just for coding, after 2 or 5 years from that moment, that person was faced to the problem of scaling a business. But that was the task that person never did in the past. The CTO from the very first year or for the very first few years of a startup is usually a totally different role than the CTO from the time when you need to scale up your business. So be ready to let your key people go. And also, if you're a founder, if you're a CEO, if you are a COO on the early stage startup, even if you are a CEO at the early stage startup, be ready to give up your role to someone else. Probably there are better people than you in scaling up the business if your role was mainly on building or growing the business from scratch. Those are two different things. And also when you are hiring managers on the early stage, probably those managers are not a good fit when you are growing your company. And for God's sake, guys, write automated tests. This is something in software business that, in 2026, I'm still watching plenty of projects, plenty of customers who came to us and they do not have automated tests. And I'm not saying that, it wasn't needed 5 years ago, but it's now even more needed than ever. Why? What changed in the last 2 or 3 years? AI, guys. With AIs, if you're writing code and you're using AI, and most of the developers should do this right now, like using agents for that, and you don't have automated tests, oh my God, you can imagine what the results will be. Like you'll be fixing after AI a lot of time, over and over again, and it doesn't work. But if you do have automated tests, working with AI actually goes smoothly, especially if you do not let your AI to blindly change the tests whenever they fail, but you are just checking what they are changing. But that speeds up a lot. Also, automated tests. Recently, I met one guy who actually bought a company, a software company, a small software company, and it occurred that in this software company there was only one developer who only knew what to do and how the code base looked like, etc. And he struggled to convince his business partner to force this one single developer to write automated tests. And I told him that, dude, if you don't have automated tests and this guy will decide to quit, you don't have any knowledge about the code base. And this whole code base appeared to be a huge code base. You're fucked. Like, dude, you need to force this guy to automate tests. And forget about any other reasons. This is the only reason. He called his business partner and the business partner said, well, you're right. That's the point. And this guy told me that, I was trying to convince him for half a year and I couldn't find any reasons to force this and to just this. So testing is crucial in 2026, guys. When you're hiring more people, always think first if you really need them. Yeah, like hire people only if your current employees are starting doing over hours, not earlier. Hire professional product management. It's pretty similar to what I said about the letting people go. Also, if you are a founder, and probably you are a really good product manager at the early stage, but when the business is growing, your role as a founder, as a CEO, is totally different than the role of a product manager in a growing business. And if you hire a product manager at the moment when you already started scaling your business, it's way too late. You need to do this earlier because scaling needs to be prepared from the product perspective, not only from the product, but from the management perspective as well. So do not be afraid to hire product managers or managers early. And last but not least, don't scale acquisition before you fix your retention. I know that in startups, many of you are growing fast and focusing on the growth, and most of the investors, and I'm pretty sure that Magda will tell you about the investors as well, that investors are looking at the growth of the business, but you need to focus on the retention before you start growing your scaling your acquisitions or scaling your business. One of my investments, as a company that I invested, a startup that I invested, actually bankrupted because they started scaling too early. They built a factory before they fixed their customer retentions, and that was the main reason why they failed. I have one bonus for you. Culture is very important when scaling, but culture is not it's not a vibe. It's something that is explicitly standardized and something that you can define and even should define. And I love to talk about it later during the networking. So, if you would like to learn, if your business is ready to scale, you can check our checklist that we prepared specially for this event. You won't find it anywhere else. So I will give you a moment. In the meantime, if you have any questions, I'm open.
Because you said about documenting decisions, and I'm wondering what do you really mean by documenting, and how do you work with that? How do you document?
Okay, so we do have a Google spreadsheet where we have like each column is a week, and we have like a weekly meeting where we're noticing like each of the decisions for each projects that we have for our clients, each of the decisions that we made in terms of, for example, recruitment, in terms of the marketing, other stuff. And this is like a weekly basis decision-making process. And we are documenting it. It's really easy to put it all even to ChatGPT to tell us what we are doing wrong. And there is a lot of things that Chat is telling us that we are doing wrong each time. But we are trying to improve it slowly, but we do. This is one thing. Also, we have something like, since we recently defined our strategy and the list that someone said here of things that we are not going to do. So we have 30, I believe, or 20 or 30 things that we are not doing at the company with one asterisk that whenever we want to do something that is contradicting this not to do list, we can do this, but we need to note it down and note the reason why we do this. And even when we started it, we have this strategic decision log, this is how we call it. Since we started it, we only once made a decision that was against the rules that we put there. Why? Because we have temptations many times to make such a decision, but every time when I said, okay, so we'll need to note it down, someone said that, maybe it's not a good idea to do this. So sometimes even the way that you have to note it down makes you think over it twice before you make the decision. Yeah, so that is even better than only noting it down. Any other questions?
Michael,
Please shot.
hi, Wiktor. So my question is pretty simple. I agree with you on the point 7, I think, about the test overall. But I see a little bit another trend on the market. So some of the companies are telling me that, it's better to hire 2 manuals instead of 1 automation because of this actually AI implementation. That a lot of code is written by AI and not all auto tests could actually find the holes in the code. So for this reason, they think that more efficient is actually having several manuals. What's your take on that?
So my partner, my girlfriend, is a software tester, and she's mainly doing manual testing. And recently, she's a little bit, I wouldn't say depressed, but she says that her job will be replaced by AI. And to be honest, I hear what you are saying. Yeah? Like, I do also think that even the developer's role itself right now is focused more on the verifying what AI delivered, but to verify they need to better understand what the business actually need. So software developer role, and I'm far away from separating testers from programmers, etc. For me, those are developers. All of those people right now need to be more focused on the business, need to be more focused on communication with people and with AI. And I'm recently I even told someone that right now software developer is someone who is just an interface between the business and the AI agents. So they need to verify what AI deliver, and they need to talk to the business in a way that they will understand it better, so they will pass it to the AI agents. I'm not sure if that's answering your question, but this is what I see right now. And I will, like following up on that, I don't think that software developers will be immediately replaced by AI itself, and that everyone who needs the software will start talking to AI. That might happen sooner or later, but not in the next, I don't want to predict 2 years, let's say, maybe later. Any other questions?
I believe the time is over for questions.
Yeah, let's follow the rules from the beginning. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This video was brought to you by Pragmatic Coders, a team that helps companies get struggling digital products back on track.